Marketing Division C. We're going to talk to you today about consumer behavior and media research, about how you started this course as a whole. So I'm going to start with a little bit about your past and all the achievements that this course has brought, you brought to this course basically. So since this is one of the only programs that was mentioned in the G20 Young Entrepreneur Summit in Paris. So, and it is a very recent course. So how did you do like the reach to this level so quick, and what all things did you do to come to this level?
So in '99 we thought about addressing the family-run businesses of this country, because if you look at over 75% companies in India are family-run businesses. It's world over, so they manage the economy in a very big way. And when we conceived this idea in '99, we felt that the needs of these family businesses is very unique. Okay, unlike multinationals, it is very very important, and it is also expected that you actually respect the heritage or the legacy that you're coming from. So we started this program with 6 students, but we went very strongly and meticulously in understanding. I think one aspect which I would rate very high, which went in the success of this program, was knowing each family business and becoming an integral part of this. None of my professors, or me for that matter, was trained in family businesses. Okay, it's through our students that we learn what are the challenges, what is the dilemma, what is the dynamics, what is the pattern, what are the business styles. And let me very honestly tell you that the leadership styles that I had studied in the books, whatever was available in the market, were very, very different. They were not from the books. They were very unique in nature. And I think another important component that I would like to mention here was our adaptiveness. We did not replicate any Western model कि अमेरिका में ऐसा होता है तो यहाँ ऐसा करो, या UK में ऐसा होता है. We actually understood Indian businesses, what are North Indian businesses versus South Indian businesses, Western businesses versus Eastern businesses, and tried to give it a component whereby we retained our core management education and started giving our student focus modules. In this focus modules, we would train them what was the requirement of family business. So whatever we read from our students, whatever we understood from them, whatever dilemmas they had, those dilemmas were understood by me and my team, and we gave it a shape of program. So it was through them knowing their issues, so we became very relevant and contemporary, because हम हर एक बच्चे से पूछते थे और उसको फिर कॉन्सेप्ट में ट्रांसलेट करते थे और ट्रांसलेट करके मॉड्यूल बनाते थे. तो when the child would study, a child would see a lot of relevance. And when I'm saying child, it was a management program. Our students were 24, 25, 26 years old. They would see a lot of relevance and impact. So they would take this home, and in 2 years that they were here, in each subject we had inbuilt a project. And through this project, they would go back and map their business. And that became super successful, and that was like most sought after in the country. So to summarize your question, last point I would make is that our adaptiveness and our willingness to learn, and we were very contemporary in translating it to modules, is what made us successful.
Okay. Continuing to that, the previous question only. So family business is something which is usually very holistic. So how did you directly channel to aim to those students, and how did you approach them, or how did they approach you, and how did that go about?
So what happened was, if you look at our program, we're very unique. Okay, so if you remember when you walked into the college, I had welcomed you on the day of your entry. Okay, this doesn't happen anywhere. Okay, so a dean coming and welcoming students and trying to explain. So one thing which I was very happy about was I would share with students. So when people are scared to talk about it. अगर मुझे नहीं आता है तो क्या हुआ? But I should be open to talk to you. So I would welcome my students before even they make up their mind to join the program. And in those meetings, I would share the philosophy. See, you remember we shared philosophy with you, that the program is based like this, and this is how we are going to teach, this is our pedagogy, this is our thought. So what we did was, in this first preliminary meeting, where our parents, and we call them stakeholders because you're going to go back and work in your businesses or someone else's businesses, but then you're a stakeholder. So what we did was we presented our concept to the stakeholders, and we took their suggestions, their pointers very strongly. And we actually made it a two-way learning process. So we would understand what are the sectors who are coming to join us, what are those sectors' challenges, which is the sector which is most represented. Like for example, first few years we did not have too much of domination of manufacturing sector. But in 5th year we had 58% in the class who were from manufacturing sector. Today we have 28% from 700 to 800 crores. So these sectors keep on changing. We understood that, and from there we derived that what would these emerging sectors would want, and those were actually taught. So basic management education or the important core of management remained the same, but how it has to be applicated in the respective business and how it has to actually go into your family and your business is where we made the difference. And that is what made us successful. If you see today, 74% of you who are here in the business, in college, are through word of mouth. So it's not an advertisement, it's a word of mouth. People have seen the relevance, and a very large community of our students could translate whatever their learnings here in 600 days into their businesses. And they could see drastic. So where did we work on? We worked on transformation of businesses, we worked on setting up processes, we worked on their governance, we worked on board of directors, we worked on professional versus personal conflict, we worked on HR policies, we worked on financial implications, we worked on how do you read your balance sheet and how do you analyze it. We worked on right from small information to the critical core. So what we did was, besides core, we actually have 32 focused modules, and these focused modules that we teach our students are derived from real practical world. And that is what made it very unique, because when we would talk to students and say, for example, a basic thing, father and son relationship, how do you hold a boardroom meeting? So when you are not a son, you are one of the reporters. So how do you hold a board meeting? How do you take a decision? Because on one side is family, another side is business. So is your decision family focused or your decision business focused? How do you plan your future? How do you define? It's very difficult for an MD to define a KRA of his son. कि भाई इसको मैं किस बेस पे पैसे दूंगा? So how do you put this in place, and how do you accept that? Because it's your father's business. So when you go and you have to pay price for not taking more than 13 leaves, it's a very difficult setback that मेरी कंपनी में मैं 13 से ऊपर छुट्टी ले रहा हूँ तो पैसा काट रहे हैं. But how do you define KRAs? How do you make a person accountable and responsible in the business? How do you align your family goals and business goals? How do you align your vision? Because maybe business was conceived by Dadaji, and today people of 24 years, your great grandson wants to redefine it. So how do you bring that change? How do you do it? So one thing which I'm very happy and I'm very proud about is we never talked about successful, successful transition. We always spoke about successful inheritance. That you decide what role of business should come to be. So it's your performance, it's your contribution, it's your learning, it's your attitude, it's your own adaptiveness that will actually instruct your father indirectly कि succession plan कुछ नहीं होता है. Looking at your father should see that my son or daughter is capable of handling, so I should now leave this too. So we work very strongly on successful inheritance, and I'm very happy that a lot of parents came back and told that my child has taken business to a very different level. We have around 48% of our students who gave us startups using the ecosystem. कि dad का business बहुत अच्छा था, अब उसमें से मैंने नया business बना दिया. So this is how we managed it. So continuous mapping, continuous learning from my each student is my book. So my learnings were not from those books were fundamentals, but each student in the class was seen by me as a business who would guide me. So the best and the worst was taken and it was translated. So it was learning. I'm super proud to say that 6,000 of our alumni are a phone call away because I became an integral part of that family. And I was seen as a member. So I visited their weddings, I visited their ceremonies. In that I would understand कि ये family का culture क्या है. कि फैमिली कैसे आगे बढ़ेगी. And that, when that was translated into management, it became a very innovative model. And that's why ASCSB rated us and said that this is the challenge that inspires. So we were next to Kellogg's there, and it was rated and it was seen by the world that how we have used Indian, because एक बहुत बड़ा जो इंडिया के businesses में है ना, वो ये कि यहाँ दिल जुड़ा हुआ है. It's very difficult to tell a father that, you know, we have several cases where a son says, जब पापा अच्छा बोल रहे थे तो मुझे अच्छा लगा, but सबके सामने चिल्लाया. He forgets that he is also MD apart from being. So how do you say MD in the boardroom and father at home? How do you differentiate that? It's a very thin line. So that's because India में families बहुत ज़्यादा जुड़े हैं. Family में culture है. A son cannot ask his father कि भी मेरी salary क्या है? या what do I get in business? You can never ask this. So how do you bring a process is something that we